Hi guys, this is FXGOAT speaking. Welcome to yet another video. So basically guys, on today's video we're actually going to be looking into the market and actually checking what price is actually performing and anticipating what is going to be happening this coming week. So please do make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, because this channel is going to grow with you guys and we're going to actually become one of the biggest movement in the country. So basically guys, on today's video guys, we're actually going to look into the markets as usual. And guys, last week we had some beautiful a bit of hiccups whereby we couldn't release our Sunday market breakdown, and I received a lot of messages from you guys requesting and asking what's actually happening with regards to the Sunday market breakdown. Well guys, there was a bit of hiccups there and there, but as you see guys, today we are back and we're actually going to actually look into the markets together, because this is one of the things that I love to actually show you and actually help you guys, to those people that wants to confirm and look into the markets together. So basically I want to actually help as much as I can and touch lives as much as I can. So this is one of the intentions and actually one of the key goals of this channel, to actually give back to you guys. So basically right now we're going to look into the markets, and we actually know that when we look into our markets, we start with the beautiful US dollar currency index, which is the DXY. So right now with the DXY guys, we also, that from the previous weeks we have been looking for the DXY to actually give us those selling momentum. So basically we have been seeing that price has been actually performing so beautiful in such a way that we have been squeezing ourselves in a way that price has been performing, giving us these types of patterns, evolving structure to go to the downside. However, we have saw that as of last week Wednesday, the market gave us this beautiful strong impulse to the downside. This was caused due to the CPI that occurred last week Wednesday, which pushed price to the downside and actually gave us this beautiful strong sells. So basically right now we want to anticipate what is gonna actually happen actually from this beautiful DXY, because we are curious in a way that we want to know and see what is it that's gonna happen. So with me in front of me here guys, I'm seeing that the DXY still has the room to actually push further to the downside, right? However, you should actually evolve and see what price it's doing. So if you can actually evolve and check, you can simply look into the markets that the price is actually giving us some sort of like an expanding wedge, because price looks beautiful when it actually expands. And when you check carefully from this point here guys, you can simply look into this matter like the way I'm gonna be actually breaking it down to you. So basically right now you can simply say that the DXY might gain strength a little bit before we see the movement of price pushing a little bit to the downside, because the overall direction of the DXY is actually selling pressure. So we can actually experience a little bit of buys before we can actually have those overall sells. Because why? I'm seeing price actually coming to these areas right there and actually giving us a breakout and a break back in of price movement to actually commit itself to actually give us these beautiful corrections onto these levels, because I can see that the market prints the very same structure that it has actually done right there. So I'm looking to see the bigger structure of price from this side, but I'm looking to actually see what's gonna be happening, because if you can open your eyes quality clear, you would simply see that the market has actually printed our first, second, third and fourth, we are anticipating for the market to give us our beautiful fourth touch right there, break outside and break back in with some beautiful continuation flags towards to the downside. So from there, that's where we're going to actually look for more selling pressure from this particular level, because the market would have committed itself from the upside to the downside with regards to this level right here. So right now I'll be looking to see some sort of like a continuation flag from current market price here, which will lead for price to actually continue buying from this particular moment. So that's when I'm gonna be looking for price to actually give me those continuation buys until that level right there, until I have my committed fourth touch right there. That's when I can say the market looks beautiful to sell. So this is my DXY. The DXY looks beautiful for short-term buys, long-term sells. So my DXY is short-term buys, long-term sells. So that is my anticipation on the DXY. And the other pair which is looking beautiful, this pair we actually capitalized with the premium members also on it, which is the Eurnzd. Our Eurnzd was quite looking beautiful with multiple confirmations in one pair. Why? The pair actually presented one of the movements that were so epic, because which you can look that price from this beautiful structure here, it committed itself to actually push price to the upside correctively and broke out of the structure impulsively to actually gain a breakage of this low right here. Right now, this low is one of the important factors that we must look into, because if you can open your eyes carefully from the structure right here, you'd simply see that when you go to the 1 hour, you'll see that the market has actually gave us multiple confirmations with regards to this pair. Because if you can simply see, you'd see that we have first, second, third touch, which is one of those aspects that you can look into when you are looking for a confirmations in the market. So right now, after we had this beautiful continuation flag, this is more like a continuation flag, right? Because we have overall low, which is this one, and it has been broken and playing below this low. So basically right now we are anticipating for Eurnzd to keep on selling. So what happened here, guys, is that the market confirmed with multiple shoulder, head and double top right there, which is also a third touch, and also price gave us our shoulder, which is now coinciding with this becoming our head also, which is multiple head and shoulders patterns presented themselves inside this pair. And also when the market was now in a way that it's becoming ready, when the CPI came, price pushed further to the upside, gave us these beautiful rejections. That was our first and foremost entry, because the market from this particular moment, we capitalized from it, and I saw these beautiful rejections from this particular moment, and price shot to the downside, right? Price shot to the downside and we capitalized with this move right there. And also again, price presented another flag which is now below this low right here. And now this is one of the confirmations again that you can see in the market, which was our continuation flag. We capitalized again on this pair again, that price now gave us this long stroke sells onto the end of the week. So basically from this particular moment, we're still holding this beautiful profits right there. We're still holding a little bit, and also we're looking to see a bit of corrections onto this beautiful low, because this low is one of the significant lows in the market, and this is the recent low, because whatever that has occurred right here, guys, I'm anticipating price to repeat this but here. So we're looking to see the Euro NZD to actually push price to the downside until these beautiful lows that will now work with the current previous low. So this is our current previous low, and the market has actually showed us that it can have potential to sell a little bit more. So right now this is our Euro NZD. So moving further to the new and beautiful pair, which is the Usdcad. Usdcad quite looks high probability setup to actually capitalize from it, right? So basically from this particular one, we have simply reacted in a way that we saw that the market, we didn't go any further. You can simply look into the structure. If you can actually look into the current market price, what is it that is happening right here? The language of the market, it's not far. It's only us people who are making the market to look a bit tricky, because we want things that are a bit far from us. So basically from this particular moment, you can mark your lowest low and your high. So this is our high, this is our low. So now we need price that needs to be committing itself to come to this low, right? So we have two types of low and highs that we have here. So in this regard, we can simply see that the market has committed itself to give us this beautiful continuation flag, because if you can actually look into this high right there, you would simply see that the market, instead of the market to actually respect this high and actually create some sort of like a flag, which is gonna be the right shoulder and coming to the downside, instead it created a double top in a way that it was a bit tricky to identify, right? This was one of the big trickiest pair to identify this double top right there. So now the market, since it presented itself with this beautiful double top right there, you can simply see that the evolvement of this structure, we can see that now the market created some sort of like a opening wedge, right? Price created some sort of like an opening wedge towards to this commitment right there. So you can simply look into the matter like, okay, price created an opening wedge, but what is it that is happening inside this opening wedge? So this opening wedge right here committed itself with what? A head and shoulders pattern. So the market was a bit easy to identify, because if you could actually look into something like this, you would see that we have a break and a retest of the overall head and shoulders pattern. So this was a channel that was formed into our opening wedge. So basically right now, what is it that is happening? We can simply see that the market has broke this low right there, which is one of the highest probability setups to can spot that since this low is committed to be filled, this one right here, we can simply look into this matter as like price is committing itself to give us our continuation movement towards to the downside, because we are looking for more selling opportunities until this levels right there, because clearly this is one of the highest probability setups, because the market is actually looking beautiful to commit itself to give us our third touch. So our third touch will be based on the fact that if we can evolve structure like this, you'd simply see that the market looks beautiful for selling opportunities. So but we are evolving the structure to actually come back and give us our third touch and break back inside here to actually commit itself to give us this tight flag, at least 15 minutes flags, until this it's complete. So from this particular moment, that's when you can actually capitalize into taking your sales onto these levels right there, and put stop loss at least 30 to 25 pips from the entry. So this is where you're going to actually enter your price and actually put price to the upside, because the market looks beautiful for selling opportunities. So this is our USD CAD. So our Cadjpy also looks beautiful, but you need to open your eyes when you trade such pairs, because this kind of pairs, they actually need attention when you actually break them up. So basically now when you look into Cadjpy, you'd simply see that Cadjpy is having this as a high. So this is the most strongest weekly high of Cadjpy. However, you need to open your eyes. What is it that is happening with the current market price? We have this low as one of the strongest lows, but we need to actually cater for what is it that is happening with the current market price. So our second high is actually this one, which when the price broke here, it turned it into a support. So basically, if you can actually look into the market into this way, you'd simply realize that there is something missing that is actually happening from this current market price. So our main focus is only going to be into this particular side right here. So what is it that is happening with Cadjpy from this particular moment? We can simply now see that the market is actually having some sort of like a first and second touch. So what do we need? We need commitment of price to actually give us our strongest more momentum to push towards to the upside, because whatever that is happening right now, guys, we need to open our eyes. So when we dive in deeper to smaller time frames, you'd simply see that we have this high and that second high right there, and we are anticipating for the market to actually respect our setup and at least give us our third touch. So basically our main target is here. However, we need to be focused, and we need to focus it so well that we can see how the market is playing out. So basically right now, guys, we have the commitment of price having to have impulse and starting to build up a bit of big correction onto these levels right there. So right now you can simply see that when you go to the 1 hour, you can simply check that the market is looking beautiful, because why? What do we have here that brings out our commitment? So we have our first, second and third touch right there, which gave us our double bottom, which is the W formation that occurred right there. And also we have also this beautiful two touches and multiple anticipated touches to be there, and we can simply see that we have some sort of like an impulse move, correction, and we are anticipating for further push to come to these levels right there. But we need to be clever when we look into such, because the market could not just create setups and not complete them. We need to be actually knowing how to identify these types of setups. So you can simply see that with the Cadjpy, we have this as one of the continuation flags. However, this type of continuation flags, guys, they do take time. However, the forecast upon this pair is that at least if we can have an impulse that could actually break out of here and start to have some sort of like a correction, and also price building itself towards correctively towards to the upside until our target break out and break back in and give us our continuation flag upon these levels. That's when we can simply say that the market could respect our setup. However, that's where we can actually have our entry when we want to enter the market, because we would be having first, second and third touch onto these levels right there. Because if you can actually look into Cadjpy, you would see that I'm anticipating this type of movement onto these numbers, right? I'm anticipating these types of movement because the market tend to like these types of movement. So if you can simply check, I'm anticipating to see such type of movements from this particular moment, and that's where we can evolve our trend line and look into this matter in a way that the market is actually evolving with quite correctiveness towards to the upside and break back inside with an impulse correction, and that's where we can take upon our sells for long term. So this is our Cadjpy. Our Cadjpy looks beautiful with long-term sells, short-term buys. So Gbpjpy, our next pair. Gbpjpy, it has also multiple confirmations with regards to what we can look for, but however we need to break it down so that you guys can see what is it that is actually happening with the Gbpjpy, also known as the GJ. So right now with the GJ, you need to actually open your eyes and see what is it that is currently happening with the GJ. So our GJ, we can simply say that we have a touch and a touch and a touch. So price broke out of here, right? The market broke out of this beautiful touch right there, but we need to actually open our eyes, right? We need to open our eyes in such a way that we should know. So our calculated low is actually this low right here, so we can simply remove this trend line here and actually know that, okay, since I'm having this low, this is my targeted low, right? This is my targeted low, and also I'm having my high right there. So I'm having my targeted low and I'm having my targeted high. So basically from this particular moment, you can start to mark your another next low. So from these levels, you can simply see that there is another low here which price has tested before. We can now anticipate to see what's gonna be happening. So from this particular moment, you can simply see that we have multiple levels from this particular moment. However, the 4-hourly chart looks beautiful because that's where we're going to evolve what is it that is happening right here. So we need to actually know what is it that is happening right there. So in this regard, guys, you can simply see that we have a first, second, third touch onto these levels. We can simply see that we have this some sort of like a downtrending channel right there, and we also have a first, second and third touch onto these levels right there. So right now you can anticipate that there is a beautiful strong low, which is this one right here. You can anticipate that there is a beautiful strong low which you can anticipate right there, and simply because whatever that is happening right now is based on this current structure. So what do we see? We see that the market impulsed to the upside and started to give us this beautiful correction right here. So what's next? We are anticipating the market each and every after correction there is an impulse move to the upside. However, let's open our eyes, right? We have this first, second and third. We have this first and second touch, right? We need our third touch. What do we need to have? We need to at least see these types of movement in a way that you can simply see that, okay, since I'm having these types of movement, I can actually commit myself to drop this to the smaller time frames. You can now look into having some sort of like a opening structure, right? You can simply now look that the market looks beautiful because right now you can't really complain that the market is correcting. This is the nature of how the market moves, right? So from this particular moment, you can simply look into this matter in a way that price could actually commit itself to give us what we can anticipate, because when we have this level right here, this is most of the strongest levels we can anticipate. So right now we can simply look and anticipate to have a third touch right here and see price committing itself towards this high. And actually after this high is been committed, you can simply anticipate that price can break upon these levels. But the nice part about it, it can actually break back in with an impulse move, because we can simply anticipate a break back in and a corrective structure from this particular moment. And also from that particular stay, you can say we can now have our continuation flag, at least 15 minutes flag to the downside, right? So if we can actually have this small buys to actually come and coincide with our point right there, that's when we can simply say that we have our strongest buyers for sellers. So this can be our another view for Gbpjpy, JPY. So right now it's more like Cadjpy, this pairs, because they share JPY quoted. So another view, guys, that you can actually look into when you analyze Gbpjpy, you can simply see that we have this touch right there. So when we evolve this, we can simply see that we have another structure that it can be possible to develop, right? It can be possible to develop, and this is one of the structures that you can actually have, because if you look carefully from this perspective, you can simply see that we have our continuation flag from this particular moment, and we can simply look into a matter of having some sort of like a touch from this perspective, impulse move, correction from this particular stay, and actually break and give us our another continuation flag to actually come back to this high, break back outside and come back in with an impulse and speed of correction structure, at least the 15-minute structure from that particular moment, to coincide and give us our first touch, second and third touch from this perspective. So at this moment, you can say from here you are having what your structure development until you can see these types of flags. So from this particular moment, that's when you can say that you have our descending channel that will be broken and retested and upon this structure right here. So this ascending structure from here, it will be broken actually and be tested upon this high right there to actually come and sell. So this is our Gbpjpy. So our Gbpjpy will actually be committing itself to actually have short-term buys, long-term sells. So these are one of the setups that will develop very slow, but there is more liquidity there. So another pair that is our last pair, guys, it's UK100. So basically, guys, the reason why I chose UK100 today, it is because I want to show you that you can simply make money with other pairs, because most of the people, they like to trade NASDAQ and they like to trade German 30, of which they are nice pairs. Also the US 30, you know, those are other pairs that you can actually capitalize on. And but also UK100, France 40, Euro 40, those are the pairs that you can actually analyze and check how they behave, and you can actually capitalize from them, right? So this is our UK100, right? Our UK100 looks beautiful, but a bit of messy because this is one of the greatest pairs ever. So we start from the highest high. We have our highest high right there. So this is our highest high because you can simply see that the market has been respecting that high. So, and also we have this low right here. We have this low, and also we have this low right there. So basically, what is it that is happening right now? We can simply break it down to smaller time frames and have a look what is it that is happening, right? So the UK100 looks beautiful, guys, and it's quite easy to analyze, right? So you can simply see that when you go to the line chart, let us just adjust our things. So you can simply look into this matter in a way that you can see that the UK100 builds up momentum to sell, right? To sell, because why? What do we have? We have price committing itself correctively towards our resistance, because remember we have our low and our high. So basically right now, let's evolve our trend line. You can simply see that we are now experiencing some sort of like a corrective structure towards to the upside. So basically, guys, the market has been going with highs and lows, and we expect price to come to this actually highs and give us our at least a double top like it behaved here. So basically we need a double top when we get here, and a breakage of the structure to give us our corrective retest and actually give us our selling momentum towards to the downside. Basically the UK100, it's developing structure that is quite very strong, and you can actually capitalize on it, because when it arrives to this resistance right here in this kind of corrective structure, you could know that you are having one of the greatest setups ever, because the market, when it gets here, guys, I promise you it's gonna sell drastically the way it has actually played out like this before. So we are anticipating this movement from this particular structure right here, because it's looking so beautiful, guys. So these are our beautiful top 6 setups, guys. We are actually anticipating to trade these setups during the week. So these are the beautiful setups for the week, guys, and I hope to actually see and hear response from you guys with regards to this beautiful watch list that we just broke down. So from my side, guys, as the GOAT speaking, I'm signing out, guys. May God richly bless you. Shalom.